Building real wealth can feel like this impossible game, right? Like it's totally rigged from the start. But what if it isn't about luck at all? What if it's actually a skill that you can learn? Well, today we're going to dive into exactly that, using a framework from the brilliant investor and philosopher Naval Ravikant.
And boom, right out of the gate, Naval hits us with this hard truth. I mean, think about it. If your income totally depends on you clocking in and out, you're basically on a treadmill. It's a straight line. The time you put in is directly tied to the money you get out. And that path, it's never going to lead to real financial freedom.
So that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? If just renting out our time is the trap, what's the escape route? Naval says it's not about working harder, but about working smarter, and you do that by using the right principles. Okay, so here's the first big mindset shift we have to make. Building wealth isn't like winning the lottery. It's a skill. It's something you can actively learn and get better at. It's all about understanding the rules of a game that, honestly, most people don't even realize they're playing.
Naval is so sure about this, he's actually said that if he lost all his money and you just dropped him on a random street in any English-speaking country, he could be wealthy again in 5 or 10 years. Why? Because the skill, once you learn it, stays with you forever.
So before we can even start building, we've got to know what we're aiming for. So many people chase the wrong things. They get confused and mistake the tools for the actual prize. So let's get really clear on what the targets are.
This right here is Naval's #1 rule. It sounds simple, but it's actually really profound. It means you have to consciously choose to ignore 2 of the biggest distractions in our lives: the endless chase for more cash and the social climbing game of status.
So what is wealth then? It's not the number in your bank account. Real wealth is having assets that are working for you 24/7. We're talking about a business, a software program serving customers, a YouTube channel making ad revenue, or investments that are growing. These are the engines that make you money even when you're sleeping.
In money, well, money is just the tool. It's how we move that wealth and time around. It's basically an IOU from society that says, hey, thanks for creating value. You can use this IOU to claim some value back later. The key is not to mistake the IOU for the actual asset. And this is such a critical distinction. The wealth game is a positive-sum game. You can build a new product, create a new service, and make the whole economic pie bigger. We can all win. But the status game, that's a zero-sum game. For you to move up the ladder, somebody else has to get pushed down. You're just fighting over a fixed pie. And Naval says that's a game you want to avoid.
Okay, so we get it. We know what wealth is and what it isn't. But how do we actually build it? Well, Naval lays out this super clear, actionable toolkit, and it's made up of 3 key parts.
And here it is, the formula: specific knowledge, accountability, and leverage. Think of them like 3 legs of a stool. They all have to work together. You can't just have 1 or 2. You need all 3 to build something that lasts.
Now, specific knowledge isn't something you can just get from a college class. It's that unique mix of your skills, your genuine passions, your obsessions. It's the stuff that you find fun and easy, but other people look at it and think it's hard work. And because it's so authentic to you, nobody can compete with you at being you. All right, accountability. This just means putting your neck on the line. It's about taking risks under your own name. When you do that, you get all the credit when things go well, and you take the hit when they go wrong. But this is what builds trust, and trust is the currency that attracts big opportunities and capital.
And that brings us to the 3rd piece of the toolkit, leverage. And this is the true force multiplier. Leverage is how you break the link between your effort and your results. It's the difference between trying to move a giant boulder with your bare hands versus using a simple lever.
This ancient quote from Archimedes just nails the idea perfectly. With the right lever, one person's judgment, one person's effort can have an absolutely massive impact. And today, in the modern world, our levers are more powerful than ever before.
So traditionally, leverage meant 2 things: labor, which is managing people, or capital, which is investing money. And for both of those, you needed someone's permission. But the new forms of leverage, the most powerful ones, are permissionless. As you can see, anyone with a laptop can write code or create media, podcasts, videos, articles, without asking anyone for approval.
And this is exactly why so many new fortunes are being built right now. One single person can write a piece of software or create a podcast that serves millions of people all around the world, even while they're asleep. This is the new frontier.
Just look at that number, 10,000x. That's the potential difference we're talking about. A worker with the right leverage can have an output that's thousands of times greater than someone without it.
This is why, in today's economy, your judgment is so much more valuable than just how many hours you work.
Now here's the final piece that ties it all together. All of these things we've talked about, specific knowledge, accountability, leverage, they all get amplified over time. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is about get rich for sure.
And compound interest isn't just for money. Your reputation compounds, your skills compound, your relationships compound. Playing long-term games with long-term people, that's how you get those huge exponential returns in life.
This quote just wraps up the whole system so perfectly. You combine your unique, specific knowledge with accountability and multiply it all with leverage, and then you just play the long game. The results aren't going to happen overnight, but Naval argues that over a long enough timeline, they are basically inevitable.
And with that final thought, Naval kind of leaves us with a cliffhanger, doesn't he? The journey to building wealth is a fantastic game to play to solve your money problems. But once you solve them, you might just find out that the real prize was something else entirely. Maybe it was the freedom you earned along the way.